You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Welcome, listener. Today we're really digging into some recent cybersecurity events, trying to pull out what really matters for you. We're looking at how things are getting kind of blurry between everyday tech, services we trust, and some pretty sophisticated attacks.
That's absolutely right. We're going to connect some maybe surprising threats, things affecting your car, your crypto, to these stealthier attacks that are harder to spot. It's about understanding not just the what, but the why. Why these things really shift how we need to think about digital security.
Okay, let's start with something close to home for many, maybe your commute, your car. There was this attack called PerfektBlue.
Ah, yes, PerfektBlue. It affected millions of cars. Mercedes-Benz, Skoda, Volkswagen, quite a few.
And it was a Bluetooth issue, right? Something in the software framework they use, OpenSynergy's BlueSDK.
Exactly. A flaw in that specific framework, which is, fundamental to how connectivity and infotainment works in lots of vehicles.
And the scary part isn't just like pairing your phone. It could lead to remote tracking, listening in, even.
Yeah.
Potentially controlling steering. That sounds terrifying.
It really is. And it highlights how a critical flaw in one widely used component, this BlueSDK framework, can ripple out across different brands. It puts a spotlight on the risks in these embedded systems we rely on everywhere now.
Yeah, it's a systemic risk.
And similar with another one, mcp-remote. That vulnerability, CVE 2025-6514, it got a CVSS score of 9.6.
Wow, 9.6 out of 10. That's critical.
Extremely critical. It basically allowed attackers to run any command they wanted on protected servers.
Right.
Remote control, essentially. And over 437,000 downloads happened before they patched it.
Good grief. Another case is a foundational piece causing widespread risk. Okay, so from cars, let's zoom in maybe. Personal devices, phones, computers. The threats there are evolving too, getting sneakier.
Definitely. Take the atomic macOS infostealer or AMOS. There's a new version out.
What's new about it?
Well, it now includes a persistent backdoor. That means attackers can log keystrokes, run commands remotely, long after the initial infection. It sticks around.
Right. Persistence is key. And attackers aren't just adding features, they're trying harder to hide. You mentioned SHELLTER.
Yes, SHELLTER. It's being sold as like a commercial red team framework, but it's illicit, obviously. It uses really advanced techniques, polymorphic code, which constantly changes its signature, and API hooking bypasses.
Okay, break that down. Polymorphic means it changes shape, and API hooking bypasses, that lets it hide from security software.
Pretty much. It makes it incredibly difficult for antivirus and detection systems to even see it. Super low detection rates. And how it spreads is interesting too, even seeing it pop up in things like YouTube comments.
YouTube comments, that's unexpected. How do you even defend against tools designed to be invisible like that?
It's a massive challenge. And it ties into another trend, abusing legitimate services like Chrome Remote Desktop.
Google's remote access tool, how's that being abused?
Attackers, sometimes red teams, doing authorized tests, but the technique is the same. They install it with admin rights. They can even use an undocumented feature to bypass the usual PIN setup.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker. Because it's Chrome Remote Desktop, all the traffic goes through Google's infrastructure. It looks completely legitimate. Normal network monitoring might miss it entirely.
So it's like hiding in plain sight, using a trusted service as camouflage. What can defenders even do?
It really pushes the need for things like application allow listing, basically, only letting pre-approved software run and, really diligent monitoring for unusual installations, even of legitimate tools. You need to know what should be running on your systems.
These technical details, the vulnerabilities, the stealth, it all has real-world consequences. We saw that $40 million hit on the GMX protocol, right?
Yeah, a huge financial impact. A design flaw basically halted trading on their V1 platform completely. Shows how code and design choices have massive monetary implications.
And it's not just money. There was that case in the UK, 4 teenagers arrested.
For cyber attacks targeting major retailers, M&S, co-op, ransomware, data theft. It really brings home that these aren't just abstract digital threats. They have tangible impacts and involve real people, sometimes surprisingly young ones.
The whole landscape just keeps shifting so fast.
It really does. Just look at AMD. They recently warned about new CPU vulnerabilities, these transient scheduler attacks or TSA bugs. They sound a bit like Meltdown and Spectre from a few years back.
Oh, right. Those processor flaws that could leak data, so potentially more deep-seated hardware issues.
Exactly. We're still discovering fundamental vulnerabilities in the hardware itself. And then there's the fallout from breaches. SK Telecom in South Korea got fined, what, about $22,000?
Yeah, seemed relatively small for a big data breach.
Right, but the projected cost is way higher. Because of mandated regulatory changes following the breach, they're looking at an estimated $511 million in lost revenue.
Wow. So the fine is tiny compared to the real business impact. That's the true cost.
Precisely. It shows the long-term systemic consequences, operational disruption, loss of trust, regulatory burdens, often dwarf the initial penalty.
So wrapping this up, from the software in our cars to the crypto exchanges we might use, digital security is this constant layered challenge. And understanding how attackers exploit trust, how they blend in, it seems more critical than ever.
Absolutely. The innovation on both sides, attack and defense, it's just relentless. For you, the listener, really, awareness is probably the most powerful first step. Just knowing these kinds of vulnerabilities and tactics exist helps build better digital habits.
It makes you think. Given how attackers are using legitimate tools now, what's the next unexpected security layer that's going to become really important for us all to watch? Something to chew on.
Spoken Tech for your ears.